Welcome to day 337 of the New Way. I'll read John 19:31 through 34. Now it was the day of preparation, and the next day was to be a special Sabbath. Because the Jewish leaders did not want the bodies left on the crosses during the Sabbath, they asked Pilate to have the legs broken and the bodies taken down. The soldiers therefore came and broke the legs of the first man who had been crucified with Jesus, and then those of the other. But when they came to Jesus and found that he was already dead, they did not break his legs. Instead, one of the soldiers pierced Jesus' side with a spear, bringing a sudden flow of blood and water. I look at these verses in amazement. The Jewish leaders had just committed murder as they witnessed the death of an innocent man, and indeed the Messiah, King of the universe. Yet they were concerned that the bodies be taken down so they wouldn't mess up their special Passover celebration. So they asked Pilate to break the legs of the three men to hasten their death so that they could be taken down and taken out of the way. When the legs were broken, the person on the cross could no longer push up to get oxygen, so they would drown quicker as the lungs filled with water. It was a very cruel and painful thing to do, but it did hasten the death. The soldiers did not break Jesus' legs because he was already dead. Instead, they pierced his chest wall to release all the accumulated fluid that was in and around his heart cavity, making the body lighter for removal. However, the scripture indicates that not only water, but blood poured out. Forensic experts tell us that they would have had to pierce his heart to get any quantity of blood. What I want you to know without a shadow of doubt is that Jesus was dead. Dead. No one lives over a crucifixion. No one lives over a puncture wound to the heart, at least not from a Roman spear. Jesus was dead. There are some people who will try to tell you that Jesus just fainted and after laying in a tomb for 3 days, revived and walked out. No, he was dead. The Roman soldiers verified that he was dead, so they didn't break his legs. But by puncturing his heart, he was absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, dead. I'll read John 19:35 through 37. The man who saw it has given testimony, and his testimony is true. He knows that he tells the truth, and he testifies so that you also may believe. These things happened so that the scripture would be fulfilled. Not one of his bones will be broken. And as another scripture says, they will look on the one they have pierced. John was the only disciple that we know of who witnessed the entire crucifixion. He states that this is his testimony and that he is telling the truth. He published this account while many other eyewitnesses were still alive, so his record is historically valid. And if that is not enough, he reminds us that all of this was predicted hundreds of years before it happened and written down in the Jewish scripture. In his service, Dale.